Back from the break. Some of the great rhythms that are in flamenco can be found on a smartphone app. This is a wonderful little app. It costs a pretty penny as apps goes. Everyone tries to find an app that's free. This one cost me $20, but it was worth it. What happens, this is a little thing called Dr. Compas. And there it is there, okay? Dr. Compas. I don't get a cent from these good people or anything. I do complete transparency. It's not a plug or anything like this. And what it is just a great smartphone app to really help find these great rhythms, okay? You can have a trial. There's a like a little free download trial thing. And then spring for the bucks, because that's what keeps commerce going and everything, all that sort of stuff. Don't just pirate it or anything like that. And what happens is that you get these wonderful rhythms. And I'll put it up to my... There it is there, you see? And that is a tangos, okay? Which is loosely based on a tango. So let's go through some of these rhythms. The first one, and probably the most important and most loved, is a bulerias, okay, if you can see that there. Bulerias on 6, the tangos, which you just saw, a jaleo, alegrias, solea por bulerias, fandango. First time I heard about a fandango was Brian Ferry. Do the Strand, boy, where we fandango, or something like that. Roxy Music's second album, I think, For Your Pleasure, 1972, I think. Tanguillo, okay. Seguirias, and you have slow, medium, and fast. Seguirias, Solea, Gajiras, Tientos, Rumba. All of these wonderful rhythms. The rumba itself is pervasive. It's the rhythm of it's all around the world. You can find it in many, many different kinds of cultures. And what starts to happen is when you actually, say if I go to a Bulerias, there's the rhythm there. Now I'll go a bit technical on you. Flat ride cymbal here, no bell. I got this because I love the sound of ECM Records, the jazz label, European jazz label. And it gives you that really crisp kind of sound. Jack DeJohnette made it very famous to the point where it is just called the ECM cymbal sound. Now I'm doing a show on flamenco. But I could also work the same kind of rhythms in a kind of a contemporary jazz context when I'm talking about four-way independence. Notice that I didn't really keep the hi-hat on 2 and 4 if I'm talking jazz or whatever. I'm actually using it as a contrast kind of a tool there, kind of playing is me doing a contemporary jazz version of a compas after hearing a bulerias and using the hi-hat for colours more than a time. It's when you're talking about contemporary jazz, the 4 bits that you have, two arms and 2 legs, form together. You're not just keeping hi-hat on 2 and 4. The rhythm is held by all 4 independently from that kind of thing there. And that's some of the things that you can get from flamenco. Now, we're going back to the 50s for this. One of the great jazz albums, if I'm going to go off the beaten track only for half a second, is Miles Davis's Sketches of Spain. Okay, that is a wonderful album where one of the great jazz masters takes on this flamenco, this wonderful culture, and puts his own stamp on it, with Gil Evans doing the arrangements and all that. It's one of the classic 50s jazz albums, is Miles Davis' Sketches of Spain album. Fantastic. And this is sort of what he does. He takes these rhythms and puts his own stamp on it. Okay. And to get that stamp, he would be using the Phrygian mode and all this sort of stuff, because after all, Miles Davis did reintroduce modes to jazz with his Kind of Blue album. I hope people are still studying their history of music, and that's what goes on there. So the Phrygian mode just gets you, whatever, right in there, and, all that sort of stuff. Add the Hemiola from Espanola to it, and next thing you know, you're just scratching the surface of what goes on with flamenco. One of the things I'll finish up on now is a little thing called the Zapateado, and that is the dancing side of things. Okay, I'm using my hi-hats. See, trash hat on the right-hand side, so I've got both feet on cymbals. So therefore, mallets, tom-toms. To do here. Hope you could still see or hear the Compas in there as well. Now, just to finish off everything, one other thing that you can relate to when you want to get into the Compas, which is the 12 cycle. I've talked about the Palmas. I've just talked about Zapateado, which is the dancing. Okay, what happens is one of the great songs that is built on a Compas is America by Leonard Bernstein, West Side Story. And I've mentioned Metallica, Harvester of Sorrow, if you want to hear a Phrygian mode done in metal. And if you want to hear rhythms, I'm going to quote something. I'm going to quote Mastodon again. I've been talking about that band a lot. I'm quite enamoured with that band. I love that band, Mastodon. But I'm noticing that Brand Daler, the drummer from Mastodon, uses that rhythm a lot. Okay, that sort of... something like that anyway. So there's a couple of loose connections to take you slowly into the world of flamenco from, if you're coming from a hard rock point of view. And I'm really bringing that up mainly because I just did a metal drumming show, 2 of them. And, these kinds of rhythms are all pervasive, and you can start to scratch the surface of how these rhythms can become so energizing and, an aid to your imagination and all that. I'm going to wrap the show up now. My name is Chris Quinlan. This is the Drum Show, also long known since 1995 as Melbourne Musos. So it's Melbourne Musos, the Drum Show. If you want to contact me, it's melbournemusos@hotmail.com. The website is melbournemusos.net, youtube.com/melbournemusos. My name's Chris Quinlan, and thank you for watching. Catch you next week. Okay, bye.